What is up, my dude? I'm making this video just to show these coalescences to you because it's definitely noteworthy, man. I gotta point this out and at least get some like alternative perspective on this. So, first off, let me preface this: that the loss that we had on Friday night, definitely team effort. Obviously, like our timing was off, tempo was off, Zen wasn't the right pick given their DPS, tanks cadence was wrong, so everything was wrong. So, this video is not to poo-poo on Eno. It's not. But these coalescence, man, these are at least something worth addressing, I think, because a lot of them are, dare I say, like almost no value. And I mean that in like an Overwatch sense, not in like a mean sense. And so originally, you're right. It is kind of like Valk. You want to do it in the midst of a team fight, but you're initiating these super early, like ridiculously early. The perfect time for a coalescence is once your team has started to take damage, their team has started to take damage, and everyone's kind of stuck in their spots. Like we've hunkered down where we're going to be standing, because coalescence will essentially make the lower enemies lower and potentially kill them, and at least top off your teammates. So let me just kind of jump right into this here. I'm going to go very quickly. I have the timestamps here for each of the ultimates. So we'll start Busan, right? And you'll see what I mean, hopefully, by taking a peek at this. It's like pretty noticeable. So 2 minutes, 12 seconds. So this first one, it isn't terribly bad, because I get where you're going with this. So check this, right? We're about to initiate the team fight, and they grab on us. And I know the instinct is like fade out and coal, but you fade out and you're gonna coal, but I'm the only one in the grab, and obviously like you're probably trying to save me. So this one's not bad. It just so happens that I had a chance to keep myself alive. But you'll notice again, everyone here is full so far. Literally no one is at risk of dying at the moment. But this one I'm not gonna hold against you just to grab. I know that's an instinct. But you see where you're aiming it this whole time? Like, let's go back a second here anyway. Watch the coal beam.
I've got you in my sights.
It's like kind of on no one. Now you're kind of starting to tickle some people. So that's the first one. And that's not so bad, so I'm gonna knock off on that one. Here's the next one.
Surrender to my will.
Team fight here, and like kind of chaos, but you can see like from this perspective, you're half, which is not only risky to start calling, but no one else is like at any risk of like dying or taking damage or anything, and your angle isn't necessarily very good either. No one's lined up. You're literally perpendicular to the team. So we're red, remember they're green, and so you get dove here. But again, the coal, nothing's really going on. And Monkey just kind of chases you down. Let me just... It's funny, my graphics aren't really proper at the moment. That's okay, we'll move on. Because I want to get through these quickly, because there are a bunch of them. 925 here. You'll notice, like, all of these coals, none of them are team fight winning. That's kind of the biggest takeaway. So, like, here we end up coaling at the end of the round. This round's literally already lost. We're at 92. We're trying to touch. And, again, we're trying to touch them. But, like, look where you're coaling here. Obviously, it's too late to do anything, but you're not coaling anything here, man. Like, you might as well just walk, I guess, because if we are trying to touch, you're going to want to save the salt. But everyone's at full health. It's not an enemy in sight. So I know Moira does technically walk faster, but you don't even go that way. You kind of like look over here instead. And now you're kind of like solo calling the chaser. Again, if you watch the build up, there's probably other opportunities to use this anyway, but that's number 3 on Busan. If we go on to Blizzard World here.
Welcome to Blizzard World. Ready for...
So the first call here. So team fight's happening, right? And you're gonna go in like 10 seconds, so not yet. You're healing him up. Ryan is super fucking low because he's hacked. And you essentially waste all of your juice on healing him, right? You throw a healing orb, and you pop coal here. But again, look at where you're popping coal. You're literally trying to like heal up Orion, who you just do the healing orb, and there's no one else here. like it's me, but that's it. It's the rest of them on point. It may not even be winnable per se, but like you don't even have it. Look, you've already wasted half the coal and got nothing out of it yet. We're purple anyway there. So like at least there you can kind of like DPS and ward them off, but kind of a weird time to start here. You essentially wasted half a coal when you could have been using it here when we pushed in. We win this team fight anyway, so technically this is one of the team fights we win. But yeah, keep going here. 5.5. So again, watch this coal here. So there's a somber on the right, and you can see we're kind of pushed up. And watch when we pop coal again. Everyone here is full, so you're not healing any damage because the team fight hasn't even happened yet. They're not taking any damage. And ready? Here, you pop coal. But like, no one's at risk of dying. Tanks are still relatively high health. You could throw an orb, but the enemy's not even an LOS. The team fight's not even happening. So this coal is, again, watch where it goes. Nothing. You end up having to push all the way up, and they just zone you out. And you get slept on. That's just kind of bad luck. But again, you're whatever. So up to 10:08. We keep going.
Initiating match.
So yeah, this one's like again really early. Ready? Watch.
Surrender to my will.
No one's low health. We're not even at the front line to brawl. They're not even in LOS. Look at this goal. Doesn't do anything. It's so early. And now we're all dead. And now they EMP. And now we're shattered. And like this might be a good chance to have like phased out and cold instead. You know what I mean? Moving along here. You have another one right here.
Surrender to my will.
So this one's not bad, but again, Sombra's literally on your right. You can actually see her, so super risky. This one, out of all of them, is probably the best coal per se, because this is a one that's in the air. Lucio is one hit where you can potentially finish him, but even then, everyone's high health. You're not going to kill anyone, and you're not like saving anyone per se, and you end up getting hacked. So no coal there. And then here to end the game. Really, watch this full.
Surrender to my will.
Everyone's full. No one's taking damage yet. Your coal isn't even touching the enemy. That's how far back you are. So like everyone over here is not even LOS of it. And watch what happens instead. They grab you in that Reaper ults, but no one here is taking any damage. It's super early in the team fight. So that's Blizzworld. We'll go here to Gibraltar. And these are the last two, because you end up switching to Mercy, and then you go to Lucio. So we'll go here at 156.
Sniper!
So you're half health.
Surrender to my
and you
will.
pull, but again, you're half health per se, but like everyone here is full. Unless you're gonna like damage the Mercy Beam here. There's no team fight to be had per se. Like you're not healing anyone at the front line. Zarya's bubbled up at the moment. As you see, it's just it's not really doing anything. There's no team fight happening, and you end up getting picked by Widow because you're trying to like push up to get value from it. So you saw on Blizzworld, like you got slept by it at one point. This one you're getting picked by it, and you're kind of forcing yourself up to try to get to like salvage value for it. And then here, 5.7. So like ready to check this goal. This one I think is probably the closest to being the best, but even then, probably not ideal. Let's see why.
Surrender to my
So
will.
this kind of, yes, the timing is right because the engagement has officially started, and that's you want to do this once people like cooldowns are used and people are stuck where they are. But again, everyone is full health, and you're not gonna finish any enemies, and you're not really saving any teammates from dying. So they end up Raffing here, and this coal does potentially save Raffi. But he was gonna die anyway. I end up transing to do it. But you'll notice like the coal, now it's over in a second. And like that, and that's it. Team fight, nothing's happened. So like all in all, I think they're just super super early where you're not actually finishing off enemies that are low or saving teammates that desperately need burst healing at like guaranteed healing through shields, if you know what I mean. And then sometimes it's super super early where the enemy in like two or three of those weren't even in line of sight of us, where you were healing full teammates and not even hitting enemies. So probably just working on the timing of that, because that's all of your coalescences. So that's what, 3, 8, 10 coalescences there, and I think we won like one team fight off of those 10 coalescences. So even though like ult economy is good and you get them often enough, the timing of it definitely could use a fair amount of work there, just because like I said, it's not healing anything and it's not killing anything. So, yep, that's it. Hopefully, you don't feel like I'm ripping you apart. I'm not trying to, because, you know, the rest of the, like, the positioning is perfect every time. I was watching as homework your positioning with mine, and I think you and I are in the right spots all the time. I really just think it was this coal difference for team fights. Not that we're losing team fights because of it, because, like I said, tank positioning's bad. My ult isn't good for what their DPS bring. We're staggered half the game, so by no means was, like, Coalescence the reason why we lost. But definitely a missing factor from the game overall. So that's it, man. Hopefully this was a little bit eye-opening / enlightening, and maybe someone we can, like, I don't know, if you want to see me play more, we can kind of like compare styles, if you know what I'm saying, and see what works and what doesn't for how you play. And yeah, that's it. So thanks, man. I'll talk to you later.